On this week's video, I show you how to combine two cookout favorites into one dish. This is my veggie tray pasta salad with ranch hummus. Stay tuned. Good morning and welcome back to One Dish, Two Ways. I'm Sheila. And Joe's not doing this video with me because this is not something that Joe likes. So let's get started. So our channel is based on the fact that I eat a whole food plant-based diet to cure my migraines, which is working, and Joe eats the standard American diet. And we show you how it's really not that hard there's many more things in common than what you think, and we show you how to do that. So sometimes we do one dish that we both eat. Sometimes we do two dishes and we have some base ingredients that are the same, and then we customize after that. So this dish is one that Joe's not a pasta salad fan, so I'm not going to make him try something I know he doesn't like. We have a barbecue to go to later today, and so I was trying to think of, we know at any barbecue there's going to be plenty of food for Joe, but there's not going to be plenty of food for me. So our way we deal with it is I always bring something I will eat. If he eats it, that's fine, but the main thing is that I have something to eat. So I was trying to think of ways to come up with ideas, and I had a little bit of this whole wheat rotini and left in the box, and so I cooked that, and I got to thinking, how do I veggie that up? So I've decided to make what I'm going to call a veggie tray pasta salad. So I'm going to take all the items that are generally on a veggie tray, add them to the pasta, but instead of ranch, I'm going to make a hummus ranch. So that's what we're going to do today. So this pasta is cooked, and when you look at my I have measurements here. It made about 2 cups of cooked pasta. And my goal is I want to try to get double that in the veggies. So I have cut this up because there's no point in you sitting around watching me cut up veggies, but I want to show you which veggies I have. Now, this is also a good idea to use items from your garden, so keep that in mind. I am not using cucumbers. I know that historically is on, but I've been pickling a lot of our cucumbers, and that's what I'm doing with that. So I've chosen the other vegetables that are generally on a veggie tray. So these are from our garden. These are cherry tomatoes. And only thing I did was cut them in half. And then we've got some celery. This is 1 stalk of celery. And I cut them super thin. And I decided to grate the carrots. And then on the cauliflower and the broccoli, I just chopped it really fine because I want all the pieces to be bite-sized. So maybe if somebody doesn't really care for one thing and they want to give this a try, there's nothing that's going to be a huge bite. So that was what my intention was there. So let's get all this in and see if I hit double the veggies. Now you might say, what are you going to do? So I actually did not start with a veggie tray. I started with this idea, and what I'm going to do with the rest of all these items is I'm going to roast the cauliflower and broccoli for grain bowls later in the week. The celery will be cut up because Joe likes celery for a snack. And the carrots are going to be grated for that Asian slaw that Joe wants to try on the with the cabbage. So that's the plan there. But if you were coming home with the salad, you would do it the other way. Just take all your veg. So let's see here. Let's kind of measure it out. And now I've got 6 cups of food in here. So I did it. I doubled the amount of veggies to pasta, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So let's make our hummus. So you could use the packet of the ranch seasoning, but I did that a few weeks ago for something, and I don't remember what it was. And there's so much salt in there, and there was like this aftertaste because, yeah, it just wasn't the same. So I'm going to make it from scratch using what I have with just a base recipe that I looked up on the internet of ranch seasoning. So usually you need something in addition to the chili. I got 1 can of chickpeas in here, drained and rinsed. You need something to get the food processor to stop processing. So I'm going to use a couple tablespoons of pickle juice as that because you already put dill in with ranch seasoning. So I figured do that instead of the tahini. So that's probably a tablespoon, and we're going to start there. And then let's add our seasonings. So we need some pepper. You could add salt if you wanted. I'm choosing not to add the salt because the other thing is there's going to be salt in this brine. And then I have this, someone gifted us some seasonings, and this one is dill, onion, and garlic. And I thought, well, that's perfect. So I'm just going to add this in. And I believe, let's see, I'm going to measure, but I think it's going to end up being right about, so that's 1 tablespoon. So it ended up being a heaping tablespoon of those 3. And then I've got some freeze-dried chives here, but I'm only going to do a teaspoon of those. And that should be all. You could add parsley if you wanted. I don't have any on hand right now, so I'm not going to add that. So we're going to give this a little mix. And I would suggest, so this is just my food processor. It's just the Ninja food processor, nothing fancy. Oh, I've got this turned the wrong way. Okay. So pulse it at first, get it going, and then we'll see if we need to add more liquid. And if not, then we'll get it going a lot quicker. So let's just start with ooh, that's looking good. Okay, it's mixing. So let's go ahead and turn it on medium and get it going. Of the pickle juice to it so that it would, they say now it's going to be coming together like a hummus. Perfect. So what I want to do now is I want to scrape down the sides. Show this to you. So see, some of the seasoning has come up there, and I need to get that scraped down because I don't want to miss out on any of that seasoning. Plus some of those chickpeas have come up the side, and we need to get those down so they can turn into creamy hummus, which is what I want on this dish. Okay. You see now that going around is getting all mixed up. The key to hummus is it really needs to be processed well so you get all those chickpeas that are, you know, they're no longer any bites of chickpeas. It's just smooth hummus. So time is really the key for hummus. So I'm going to let this go for a full minute, and so we're at 48 seconds right now. So as soon as it hits the minute, I'll take it off. Okay, let's give this a check. Oh yeah, let's move this out of the way. Yes, this is nice and creamy, which is exactly what we want. And and the pasta still is a little warm because I just cooked it a little bit ago. So that's perfect because that'll be easier for us to mix everything up. But look at that. That is creamy. And it smells like ranch. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. I don't know if I'm going to need all of it or not. So let's start stirring. Just get some of this in here. I'm hoping I have extra because this will be good as a topping on my grain bowl. I like to mix the hummus with some balsamic vinegar. Put it on your grain bowl. Oh, so good. Lots of roasted veggies and barley or farro, whatever kind of grain you want. So good. And then we still want this to be like a dressing. So like, see, that's not really smooth. It's not really coating the noodles. So let's add just a little bit of pickle juice to this whole mixture. so that we can thin that out a little bit. Because I still want it to be like a dressing on the pasta salad. Oh yeah, now that's coming together. But it definitely needs a little bit more. There might not be any left. That's okay. I can always make another batch of hummus. Not a problem. Okay. Wow, this is looking phenomenal, guys, and it smells so good. Wish you were here to give this a try with me. Because like I said, Joe's not a fan of pasta salad. Never has been. I don't think ever will be. Even if I did it with veggies that he would like. Well, and I am just, as usual, making a complete mess over here. What a surprise. What a surprise. Thankfully, I always clean everything before we start these videos. Wowzers. This looks so good. So I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to see if I've got enough of the dressing in there. I got a fork over here. So let's give this a shot. Okay, I think I've got all the veggies in there, and I got one piece of the pasta. So, everything's got a different texture to it, which is perfect. So the tomatoes are cut in half. They still got pop to them. Carrots are grated. The celery's in the fine, thin strips. And then the broccoli and cauliflower, they're into little bites, but they also have a crunch. So this is super good. The dressing is creamy. This is phenomenal, and it tastes like ranch. So this is a success. I will put the recipe in the box. You could also, maybe you just have some hummus. Just add if you can eat dairy, add a little bit of ranch dressing to it. Thin it out that way, and then add it to the pasta salad. That'd be like a shortcut to do. You could change up the veggies. You could add artichoke hearts. You could add a cucumber. You could also just make this straight up dill pickle pasta salad and just add pickles and, you know, other items like that. Lots of things to do with that base of that pasta. And what I like is it's one dish to take to the party and not a huge veggie tray, but I'm still getting all the flavors of the veggie tray. So I am curious in the comments, you going to give this recipe a try, or do you have any other ideas of what you do when you've got just a little bit of pasta left over in a box? Thank you all for joining us. Have a great week.